Hi guys, it's Michelle from the Life Rooms here. I'm really excited to be doing some digital recovery college stuff. I hope you're all staying well. I wanted to introduce you to the idea of the stress vulnerability model. Now, I live with bipolar myself and I found that this was really helpful, but it doesn't just apply to bipolar, it applies to every sort of mental health distress period, if you like. So the way that it works is this. As we grow up, we have certain things that happen to us that cause us to be more vulnerable as adults. And then as adults, we have these stresses that play on our minds and in our whole lives, and it's really hard to get a grip of the two. So I'll show you a very practical example of how it works. So, as a child, you might have been raised in a family where maybe there was a bereavement. Maybe you were raised in a house where you were put down a lot, or neglected, or abused, or just made to feel like you weren't good enough in some way. And so you carry around these vulnerabilities with you all the time. The thing is, we compare ourselves to other people anyway, and we can't see the vulnerabilities that they've got, just like they can't see what we've got. The glass isn't clear. So they don't know that we were bullied and everything else, and that life on top of that can be even harder. So I'm not going to say that this person didn't have anything that was hard for them growing up. Maybe they were bullied as well. But that's about it. As far as we know, that's about it. And so the balance is off, but as I say, usually you can't see through. So we don't know that the balance is this far off. So when we see the day-to-day stresses added to our lives, and they're the same as someone else's, like maybe we've got kids, and they've got kids too. And maybe we've got a relationship to deal with, but so have they. Maybe we have a stressful job. They've got the same job. Maybe we even have issues with our housing, and so do they. Maybe we have issues with getting doctor's appointments, because maybe we've got an ongoing condition, and so do they. And then eventually it gets to a point where something in our lives will become more difficult. COVID-19. We pour that on top, it spills. And that spill is this period of mental health distress. And we look at the other person and we say, well, they've got just as much stress as me. How come they can cope and I can't? The reason you can't is because you have more of those vulnerabilities. So this is about taking that pressure off yourself. You don't have to be able to handle as much as everyone. You just have to be able to enjoy your life and do the things you want to do. So sometimes that means cutting back on the stress. And for me, that meant working part-time. That's a day-to-day stress that my mind can't really deal with because of this ongoing illness that I have, this bipolar disorder. So I reduced my hours. So the idea here, and the thing I really want you to take home from this, is even when things seem equal, they're not always equal. You can't compare yourself to anyone else. And the other thing I want you to take away from it is that this is avoidable, or it can be monitored, and we can try to avoid that as much as possible. The psychological stuff, the vulnerabilities, that's going to take a long time to heal. But the stresses, we can reduce that. So the point is, don't compare yourself to others. And please recognise your own vulnerabilities and try to reduce and manage that stress on yourself, because that is how we manage our illnesses, not by trying to do the same as everyone else can. Okay, so I want to give you some tips that kind of help me to stop this bucket overflowing situation. One of the things I like to do is I like to meditate every day. If you struggle with that, you can find videos online. We're even releasing our own videos where you get guided meditation. It just helps me to reset the way of thinking. The other thing I like to do is to make a list of my responsibilities and just figure out what do I want to eliminate, what can I take out of this, or what can I reduce down, just to take that pressure off a little bit. Once you've done that, you can start thinking about a schedule. Do you have enough time in the day to do everything that you want to do, everything that you need to do? And if you don't, you need to reevaluate again what your responsibilities are and how much you can really take on board. You can do things like ask for help, speak to someone, ask for help, accept their help. We even have a service at Life Rooms called the Pathways Service, where Pathways advisors will help you with things like housing and benefits and employment, all those things to get you the right support that you need. And you do deserve that support. So we have all those things, and just taking care of yourself, prioritise yourself, make sure that you're eating well, drinking water, doing things you enjoy, make sure you've got that good bedtime routine, maybe morning routine to split up your day properly and help you get better sleep, which is so, so important. And, you know, finally, just think about you as an individual. You've got your own early warning signs, your own triggers. Figure out what those things are, what makes you stressed, and what can you do at the first instance to stop it getting too bad. Just scooping that water out from the bucket, if you like. I hope that's been useful to you. I've been Michelle. Thank you very much for watching. Stay well. Thanks. Bye.